Welcome back to Life in Linux, myself and Total OS Today. I think we are now live on your end as well, right? So we are streaming on TOS and on my channel, so check out Total OS Today.
Very good. This is Life in Linux number... Actually, I lost track. 15th. Someone look it up.
It's Life
I don't
in Linux.
know.
Somebody tell
it's
us
between
which
10
one
and
this
100.
is.
That's somewhere.
No, what we need to do, we need to go back. We need to find all the Life in Linuxes, and I'll
Right.
throw something up for the website, and we can see if we can just host the podcast.
I'll just go through
over
the
there.
video search and see where we're at. It's probably around the 15ish.
We can set up a secondary Google account and see if it actually turns on ads.
That's true. Very good. Anyway, welcome to A Life in Linux. I know it's been a while. People have been asking. We're here for this evening. I got here barely. My dad flew in from Rome. Well, he went from Rome to New York to here. And we've been catching up. The last time he was here was 2 years ago. That's why I'm late. So I have a good excuse. Okay.
Hey, family's a good excuse to always be late. Right?
So he's here till Thursday. So he went home to bed. It's been a long weekend catching up on family stuff. So, all right. So tonight, I guess we have some people here in the chat. Welcome all. Tonight is what we think would be the perfect PC, whether it's Mac, Linux, or Windows. Again, these are just our opinions, not necessarily a reflection of our respective communities. But I first talked about this with our friend Stephanie doing News and Nonsense. She's an Apple person because she believes that it's probably true that Apple's more stable, at least in terms of updates. But she also uses a Windows PC, and neither one's perfect. So we talked about what is the perfect PC. And out of that conversation a couple of weeks ago, I wrote down a top 10 list of at least what I think is, quote, the perfect PC. And I think Switch to Linux may agree with at least some of these.
Sure.
So,
and I have no idea what the list is. So
this is, for him, it's new, obviously.
Yeah.
So what I thought we would do is I'll go through these. Let me just go through the list 1 through 10. And then I'll go back to number 1. I'll say it, tell you what I think, and then you give me and then we'll go to 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess at the end too, for anybody looking at building ones, I pulled up just some guides on PC building in general and some on Linux in general, and also we'll start out. I'm not necessarily an expert computer builder. However, I have built my computer here. I built my network infrastructure, my router infrastructure, my NAS infrastructure. So I know a little.
That's
bit
more
about
than
it.
me.
Just wouldn't call myself a professional, but I have enough experience to at least give you some random thoughts.
Very
so
good.
Go ahead with your list.
Okay, let's go with the list. Let me scratch off what I did a couple of days ago. Okay, top 10 list. Okay, number 1, and not in any particular order, but number 1 is 4K ready. Number 2, it has to be fast. Number 3, quiet. Number 4, stable. Number 5, not bloated. Number 6, bug-free. Number 7, enough ports, expandability, and which comes to number 8, easily expandable. Number 9, good service. If you buy a new computer and need to ask questions, you want good service. And number 10, you want all of this at a reasonable, fair price, whatever you think that is. Let's start with number 1. I want a machine that's 4K ready. It doesn't mean you have to upload in 4K, but if it's 4K ready, chances are it'll be fast enough to do 1080p and so on. Now, I think with today's computers, I think a Windows, Mac, or Linux machine, as long as it's beefy enough, it's fast enough to do 4K video. So number 1 on my list would be 4K video. Tom, what say you?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily care if I can watch 4K video, but you're definitely going to have a future-proofed PC, and that's definitely something that's very important. So I would definitely not get something that's barely capable of handling 720. Definitely you want HD, but with the technology moving, 4K ready would actually be, I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Okay, so we're both in agreement. Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Very good. Okay, all right. Number 2, well, it has to be fast. Which would be the fastest? Obviously, if it's 4K machine, it's going to be fast. But who has the edge? All things considered, I would say probably Linux. Tom, what do you think?
What do you mean by who has the edge? What do you mean?
In terms of speed, which would be technically the fastest? Would it be like an Apple machine, a Windows machine, or a Linux machine? What would be the fastest? Say, like in terms of rendering, assuming it's all 4K, standard ready.
Like, are you talking about rendering video or just viewing video? Things like that.
When I say fast, let's stick with, say, video processing, video rendering. I give the edge to Linux on this one. in terms
Well,
of
the problem though with video rendering is not most of the applications for Linux video rendering do not take advantage of all the multi-core. We're moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Some of the more ones like DaVinci Resolve should, if you set it up right. Kden Live can under experimental mode.
Yes.
But if we're talking about speed of rendering, I would actually, since I don't have experience outside of Linux, I would probably give it to either Windows or Mac. Would probably have faster rendering times.
I would agree with that. Let's say Linux has the potential to.
Here's an interesting application. I could probably ask my brother to render a file on his Windows system, and I could render a file on my system, both using Blender. I might actually have him do it just as a little test to be like a pass up, because we both have very equivalent computers. His is I forget what he runs. We have the same amount of RAM. I'm running an AMD. The book that I'm working on right now, we rendered out the entire book cover in Blender. It's all a 3D cover. It takes me 2 hours to render that cover as one still frame image. It has to do with the size that you have to render to for a print quality book.
And what processor? I'm sorry. What processor again do you have, Tom?
I have an AMD. What is it? It's a Ryzen 5 1600.
Cool. Okay.
So it's a huge, beefy 12 processing thread, 6-core hyper-threaded processor with 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. I could give that same file to my brother, see how long it would take him to render the same scene under Windows. That would be a better idea, but I would probably say that Windows or Mac, one of those two, has the multi-threading, multi-core processing better integrated, and I would probably say that the case, but I don't know because I haven't tested that on all systems.
All right, fair enough. Let's see, number 3 on my list, we want a machine that's quiet. Unless you have some broken, a fan broken, or a bearing, I think Windows, Mac, and Linux can be equally quiet.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm running... you heard the specs of my machine. I can barely hear it. I can't hear it at all.
Okay.
Let me pause just for a second. I'm just going to try and keep up on some comments on my
go ahead. Yeah.
And you do the same as well. Ben Fitzpatrick, Mr. Raw, Mr. Rich Bob is here. Loopy's over here. Lucas, how's it going there? Okay, Pizza's over here. Benjamin Eldridge, hello. Ben Laird, greetings. And IBM ThinkPad for there. Anna Rita's over here. Greetings, Anna Rita. See, Anna Rita, we can just do this. And at least on my end, we can see both of us at the same time. So Anna Rita's like really happy over here.
Anna Rita. Okay, welcome Yugi, Robert, Annoying Meme, Mime, Linux Program, Hoofer.
2 hours for a render. I jacked the settings there. No. Yeah. Okay, what it has to do with Mr. Rich Bob is when you are doing a file for the cover of a print book, it has to be, I think I'm rendering it at 300 DPI, so I have the extra resolution to deal with. It has to do with that. If I were just rendering like my top 5 transition, those were all done in Blender. Those render in like a minute, and that's a 6-second frame. This is just the sheer size of it is why it takes 2 hours.
Fair enough. All right, let's see. Let's go to number 4. The most stable. I have to give the edge to Apple. At least they don't have the update issue like Windows does. They're probably less buggy than Linux in general. Now, I will say that provisionally. If all you want to do is get on the web, you're not going to do what we do, video rendering or books or graphics. I do not think Apple necessarily has an edge. I think Chromebooks, for what I've seen, and for the price point, they are super stable. So if all you do is web applications like this and no rendering, I would not necessarily give the edge to Apple. I would maybe equally to the Chromebook and Apple. But if it's video rendering and multimedia, in terms of stability, quality of software, no problem with updates and all that, I would give the edge to Apple. From what I understand.
I think that Linux is coming a long way, and it's pretty much there. It's close and behind, but I think that Windows and Apple are probably pretty equal at this point.
Because Windows has the updates, you never knowing when something's going to break.
That's true. The updates.
I got to give it to Apple for now. Yes. If Windows 10 was less bloated like Windows 7, hands-on Windows 10.
Yeah. I wasn't considering updates in the mix.
Yeah, you got to consider.
Updates pushes Windows under Arch somewhere.
Now, they haven't bothered me. I've been lucky. I call it as, I'm not necessarily defending Microsoft, but on my end, I can't lie and say updates have crashed my machine. They haven't. But I get it for a lot of people. And I think I was talking to Stephanie this morning doing News and Nonsense. She said Microsoft fixed her updates updates not destroying the graphics drivers, but they destroyed something else. So like it never ends. So I guess it depends what hardware you have. But I'll give the edge to Apple for now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 5, you want a machine not bloated. I got to go with Linux. Hands down.
Hey, if you want the least bloated system in the world, build yourself a Gen 2. I mean, that's going to install only exactly what it needs to run.
There you go. Not for newbies, but I have to give the edge. Okay.
Although Windows does the same. However, with Windows, you get all that excess crap that you can't even get rid of.
That's the catch.
How many times do you have to uninstall Candy Crush?
I wish Windows 10 was more like Windows 7 in terms of the bloatware.
Yes,
then it would be a perfect.
Let me clarify. What I was saying is that really most Linux distributions, if you're new to Linux, are going to be they're going to be very easily portable. So I'm running my Arch right now on an external hard drive as my media PC. Okay. I can literally take that PC, I can take that hard drive out, plug it into nearly any other computer, and boot into the exact same operating system. With Gen 2, it installs like Windows installs, where it only installs the components specific to that PC, which means it's very streamlined, it's very stable, there's nothing else getting in the way. The reason that's going to beat Windows is because of all that excess bloat that you can't get rid of in Windows, and that's the problem.
Fair enough. Okay. Number 6, which one is the most bug-free? Again, if it wasn't for the updates, and we still don't have a, quote, a national Linux standard except Chromebooks, I got to give the edge to Apple and Mac for now.
I will agree. Completely agree.
For now.
And a lot of that is because it's so limited to its one piece of hardware. They don't have to work with a variety of hardware.
Again, I will say that with the caveat, if it's strictly Chromebooks, web-based, then Chromebooks are just as good as Macs. If that's what you want is web-based. Okay. All right. You want something with enough ports. According to Stephanie, Apple sucks for having enough ports.
Well, it was good until recently. How can we extract more money out of this? I got an idea, boardroom idea. We're going to pull every port out of this except like 2 or 4, depending on how many thousands of dollars they spend, and then upsell them for everything. Great idea.
Yeah, really.
That was Apple.
Well, she had to buy a $300 hub.
Yeah.
For her mic.
On top of this massive thing.
So I got to give the edge to a Windows machine. Although if you build your own, I guess you can do it with Linux too, But with this computer here, I think I have 5 or 6 USB 3s, 1 USB 2. Okay.
I do have a USB Type C on the back.
And that's enough, right?
Yeah, I don't have an SD card reader, which is really annoying. Because
I don't either, but that's something I don't need. I don't need that. Yeah.
$8. I got a yellow USB to.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a few other options for ports as well. So I would say anything but Apple is good.
Pretty much.
Just because Apple. You can't build your own system versus I can go and build a PC and choose if I'm going to install Windows or Linux.
Right.
And that's really your difference. So Windows/Linux.
I gotta give the edge. In terms of for a newbie just to buy it out of the box, I would say Windows. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if we're buying it out of the box, yes. Unless I don't know what ports are on a System 76.
I don't know. That's a good question.
The other thing I found though doing research for today is that Dell actually has the most number of supported systems.
Okay, fair enough.
For Ubuntu, I should say. Clarify
Nice.
that, for Ubuntu.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay, again, everybody here in my chat, welcome. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just trying to go through the list real quick. Number 8, okay, so 7 was enough ports. Number 8, easily expandable, meaning more RAM, graphics card, stuff like that. Change the power supply. Apple, forget about it. Windows machines.
Even prefab Windows machines now, forget about it.
Okay.
It depends on the type you get. I got the last major desktop I bought was this little Lenovo and a $300. I can open that guy up. I'm pretty sure I could expand the RAM.
Yeah.
Everything's there, expandable. I put in extra hard drives. I could swap things around.
Yes.
And things like that. That's all stuff you can do.
Yeah.
If you buy like a laptop, you may or may not be able to expand the RAM.
It's going to be tight space and all that.
You may or may not be able to do. I have, this is an interesting issue with my Dell laptop that is my Linux Mint system. It actually takes a streamline, like a slimline hard drive, so I actually have to be very careful buying hard drives even for that. I have to get a special kind of hard drive for it,
and then
which
if you're gonna,
SSDs count. But
yeah, that's true. All right, number 9. Who has the best service? Meaning, you buy a brand new, you have a question or something breaks, you call customer service. Are they going to speak the language? Who has the best service? From what I understand,
not
Apple, right? Apple hands down beats it. From what I don't have a Mac, to be fair, and I haven't bought a Chromebook, so maybe Google is good too. But from what I've seen from friends, Apple is the best when it comes to calling customer service, and they will help you out. So I got to give the edge to Apple.
I don't know. I'm leery about giving the edge to Apple because they, while it may be true there's somebody to call, oftentimes their entire tech support team serves one purpose, and that's dump the thing and buy a new one. Maybe unless you have Apple Care.
I don't know. I had a friend of mine here who had an Apple problem, and she told me about it. It was the hard drive. That's what I thought, and that's what they told. She got the machine fixed in 2 days. Yeah, it's not bad.
Maybe I just watched too much Louis Rossman. But,
okay. No, it may be his experience is true too. I could only go by what I see here in Ohio.
The thing is that he fixes things that Apple repeatedly tells customers, hey, give us, it's completely dead, just buy a new machine. Oftentimes he's fixing machines if that's what they've told them. Well, so I don't know from the perspective of that, because I think it might be very dependent on the store. Here's what I will say though. Apple at least has a place. They have a place to do it. They have a physical place to do it,
store
and an actual service team that's for that. So I would probably have to give it to Apple on that.
Fair enough. Yep. All right. The last thing on my list, you want all of this at a fair price. I got to give the edge to Windows machines. However, once again, if it's web-based, I'll give the edge to the Chromebook. But if you need a physical desktop machine to do rendering in that, hands down Windows. Hands down.
Well, I mean, anytime though you're going down that route, you have to say Windows/Linux, because I can build the same computer and throw Windows on it. In fact, Linux is cheaper because I don't have to pay for a Windows license.
Right. Well, I mean for a newbie, just want to buy it and take it with them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, you can buy. Of course, if a newbie is going to be buying a machine with Linux, you're either going to have to special order one from HP or Dell. I think Lenovo does Linux in some regions, or you're looking at System 76, and there's a couple other ones out there. Pine as well. Pine is one not to be overlooked, because they easily compete with Chromebooks in price. Yeah. So those are definitely definitely the things to look at.
So it looks like we agree on most of this stuff. Look, in the end, nothing beats a fast, quiet, stable computer, no matter what you're running. Linux, Apple, Windows. If it's stable for you and everything works even after the updates, that's a winner. It truly is. Because there's less headaches in your life, more time to do what you want to do, and less fiddling with drivers or reinstalling the updates and this and that. So the best system, again, is one that's fast, quiet, and stable, no matter what OS that you use. That's my opinion on it. That was it. That was my top 10 list, unless you wanted to add something or go into a different topic.
No, those are pretty good. I'm gonna jump over my comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jump over yours as well.
Yeah, Heather Brown, White Chocolate, Annoying Mime, Julie. I'm gonna go to these real quick. Oofer.
Yep.
Love it. Oofer. Oof. Jesse. A name of who I can't pronounce. Go Steve, Yugi, Ahmed, Kenny, and the rest. Linux programmer. Hello, Robert, and everybody else in the chat. So if you're joining in late, this is a Life in Linux number 15-ish. We haven't done one in a while. We try to get. This is my first full week off of personal time. My first full week of a full schedule. This may be the only one. I hope not. It's up to you guys. So, I'm taking time off without pay. Just want to let you guys know as an experiment. But my dad was flying in from Rome too. But I'll probably do something tomorrow morning early before I start my day. Switch, you doing some tomorrow night, or is it just...
Tomorrow's Monday, so I should be doing a Linux Top 5 tomorrow.
Okay, there you go.
If anybody has a cool idea, let me know. I'll think of one.
Okay, so check out Switch
if
tomorrow night.
If anybody has an idea, want to see a specific Top 5, throw it in here, and I'll see if I can get something down. Let's see. Windows 7 is a lot more bloated than Windows 95. Bring back 95. And Jesse Crypto says streaming on 2 channels. Yep. Hey, man.
Yeah. That's
All
right, because we're so clever.
That's right. People running out of the woods. Works to moving Linux because Windows is just going... Wait.
Okay. Yugi says you have Skype. Skype for Linux. Yugi? I got separate accounts for Skype. One that's a private account for news and nonsense, me and Stephanie, so we don't get interrupted because those are recorded. And then my other Skype account is, my first name is Pho. My last name is Get About It. That's what I did. Forget about it.
There you go. Yeah. So everyone knows what Skype account to interrupt now during those. So,
it's Forget About It. But I seldom use. Yeah, it's not my other one. Heather says, have a good visit with my dad. He's in town in Ohio through Thursday evening. We got to catch up this weekend. I'm going to be working on some more newer trailers for his movie. Since contractual talks have broken down in Italy, it's just the nature of the business. I won't go into it. So we are free to do what we want to do. So I got his permission to do multiple trailers. I'll pop those on when I have time.
Cool.
All right.
That's awesome.
So
I'll be looking at those.
yeah.
Anna Rita, SD card slots are important to Anna Rita. So this is a thing to get is if you're buying a new machine.
Yeah.
Figure out the things you're doing. Like I had a friend who's helping a friend of mine, and she's an accountant, right? And she didn't even think to get a laptop with a 10 key. And I was like, well, you want a laptop with a 10 key because you're an accountant. You need the 10 key's more worn out than the rest of it. So you always got to think about those things when you're getting a new computer, whether you're building it or buying it.
I didn't think about it, but I suppose Chromebooks, even the higher ends, might be limited in terms of expansion. Come to think of it, I will give them.
Chromebooks are nearly always completely. They don't. In fact, you even have to do special things to open them up usually.
Okay. So they're good for speed and stability, but not good for expansion.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to expand a Chromebook. It should be mostly solder and stuff.
Okay.
See, Anna Rita says, Tom, you're right. Apple just tells you to buy a new one when you can replace it. So I dropped the Magic Mouse in water. Apple says, you need the screen replaced on the logic board. But the mouse, you dare oppose me? Mortal, buy a new computer. Yes. Oh, boy.
Let's see here.
Okay. So I do want to go up. Let me see if there's anything else there. Okay. So this is a very good on-question topic. Where is it at? Where'd you go? Okay. How can I know if a part can run on Linux before buying it? All
Check the website, the compatibility
yes,
chart.
There are a few things to do. So I actually pulled up a few articles here. There are actually Linux hardware compatibility lists. So this is at linux-drivers.org. For you guys watching this stream, it'll be there in the comments. So this one here, we have the Debian. There's an OpenSUSE, Mandriva, Red Hat, Ubuntu users. There's just a variety of different support things there. There's also, if you are using Ubuntu, let's see. Okay, here's another one, which is linuxjournal.com/supported hardware. We'll also have a series of lists for various compatibilities. So the best thing is if you're considering like printers, some of them work really well, some of them don't. The best thing is if you're researching get a new printer and you're using Linux, do some searches, figure out if your printer is going to work well with Linux.
Right.
Do the same with your video cards. If you're running like System 76 computers with new Pop! OS runs NVIDIA cards very well, I hear. In fact, Wendell at Level 1 Tech just did a video about that, showing some of the underlying things that they've really done and made improvements on. And so in that respect, that one, if you're running NVIDIA, you might want to run that. Now, if you want to start by saying, I want to run X distro, then start working backwards and deciding what system is going to work, what hardware is going to work best with it. You don't want to be on Debian or Fedora and say, I'm going to go out to the store and buy a new NVIDIA card. You're going to have a bad day. And that kind of goes for any hardware. You get the same with wireless cards. Realtek wireless cards are pretty much just don't even try. Broadcom are spotty. Intel work great. and oftentimes your laptops, wireless cards are extraordinarily easy to replace, and they're often very standardized. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the wireless card in my one Dell went bad, and so I popped it out and popped the Broadcom one in there as a temporary measure while I ordered a new one, and a new one's like $20 maybe.
Okay.
And popped the card in there. I had to install the Broadcom drivers to get it to work, but it worked just fine until the new card came in which case it worked way better. So you just got to do the research, look at the individual components.
Tom,
Now,
for reference, if I can briefly, I know you built a machine last year. Can you tell us what parts you used briefly? Do you remember?
Yeah. So I already had an AMD I think it's an R7 some X breed for the graphics card, 4 gigs onboard RAM. So that's the only part I didn't buy new. Also the case I didn't buy new because I had it. I would have liked a pretty glassy case to have all the showcasing the lights, but I couldn't find one that actually had bay docks in it. So I have the MSI 350B gaming board is the motherboard, which I would probably not necessarily recommend that one. It's not bad. Whoa, are you still there? Oh, hold on. Everything seems to be frozen on my end, and I can't tell if anyone's there or not. My Google Hangouts has froze. Give me a second. Reboot you. Everybody froze. All right. Okay. Hey, we there? We back?
You are back. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what happened on that end
No, we
there,
have
but-
2 of you temporarily, but that's okay.
Yeah, the other one will probably fall off and die.
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure where you guys left off or not. So MSI.
We were talking about what parts you built for your
Yep.
computer. Yeah.
All right. So I had the MSI gaming board. It works fine. Mr. Rich Bob says it's horrible on Linux. I haven't had that experience.
Okay.
But there's a few little quirks with it. Sometimes I have to power on the computer a couple times to actually get it to recognize like the graphics card and actually boot. So I'm a little leery about that. I have, like I said, the Ryzen 5 1600 processor. I have G-Skill RAM, 16 gigs, 2x8 DDR4 RAM.
Okay.
And I did that instead of doing like 4444, which would be slightly faster because I want to expand it to 32.
Got it.
So I went with that.
And which website did you buy all this stuff? Was it one website or you went to multiple?
I actually, okay, so what you do is there's actually a site that is PCPartPicker.com.
Okay, I've heard of it.
So
Yeah. Mhm.
you can come over here and you kind of start with, you can actually just build guides, or you can just kind of start and create a new build for yourself. And so when you create a new build for yourself, you start by picking the CPU. And then this is actually, so there's, let's see.
You know, I tried to use that last year, kind of like window shopping, and I ran into issues. I would pick my parts, and then a warning came up: careful, this graphics card may not work with this motherboard, or this, and it was annoying. Because I kept running into that, you know.
Well, that's the thing, is that's why you use it, because you don't want to actually pick up a few parts.
And it won't match, yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pick that. And then, so now with that, now we need to pick a cooler, pick a motherboard. Now, it should actually give you compatible boards.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no compatibility issues found. So you can kind of start going through and choosing all these. And then what I end up doing is I end up checking the price list on various places, and it end up being the best deal to get everything on Amazon.
Fair enough, okay.
And so, let's see, power supply. I've had a Corsair, blew up a system I had before, so I don't buy a Corsair anymore.
Wow, okay.
And in fact, that's what kind of killed the previous system.
Okay.
So I forget what model I put in there or not. I don't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, that's kind of what I did. And then, so I kind of started here. And then what you do is you just kind of look at each piece of hardware that you pick and you do some reverse searching, make sure you're not going to run into any issues on Linux.
Fair enough. Don't forget refurbished or recycled ones. I never knew, but just across the bridge in West Virginia, like 10 miles away, there's a computer electronic recycling place, a refurbishing place. I didn't know. I found it on eBay through their Visit to Store link. So I saw West Virginia. I'm like, wait a minute, that's just down the road. So I thought, okay, let me go there and see what they have. To make a long story, I walked in, and I told them I do YouTube. I need something fast for video. Well, we have this Dell. This is Optiplex 7010 Core i7, 3rd generation. Oh, okay. So he fired it up. It works. He says we give you a 30-day money back if you take it home. If it dies, we'll replace or give you money back, a full refund. I'm like, fair enough. So I said, I need a graphics card, HDMI. We don't have any. I'm like, oh, man. It came with a DisplayPort DVI graphics card. So somebody said, try an adapter cable from display to HDMI. That may work. So that's coming in this week. I'm going to try it. If that works, it'll save me money.
I wish you told me about that. I have a bunch of those.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's only $3, so all right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Now,
though.
actually, here's the thing, though, is that I didn't realize this until I was selling some on Craigslist.
Do they work? Do they work?
Well, here's the thing. Well, yes, I mean, I've used them several times, but there are like 10 different versions of them, and they all look the same.
Oh, wow.
So you have to make sure you get the right kind.
I thought, okay, it looked, on the picture, now it did say it goes one way, display to HD. It's not bi-directional.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that. If it works, it'll save me $100, $200 on a graphics card. And anyway, to make a long story short, I got this did come with the AMD graphics, but display. I didn't need the monitor. I got this for less than $200. Core i7 3rd gen. Now the RAM is only 8 gigs, but I have to tell you, it's still a little slow in 1080p, but in 720p it flies. So I think with the extra RAM and the card, or once I can put in the card back into this and use the adapter, I think with 1080p I'll be fine. I think I'll shave my time in half. So don't forget refurbished or recycled, assuming they're in decent shape. Now this one was kind of dusty because I took my universal cleaner, my Black & Decker leaf blower, dust flew everywhere out of the box, but it's got USB 3. It's got plenty of ports front and back. It's got a DVD-RW, which I may or may not use. And you know what? It has 2 cooling fans, and I don't hear the machine. That's awesome for the money I paid. Now it's not 4K ready, but that's not what I wanted. But 1080p with more RAM in the card should be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Pick up things used. It not only does it,
you never know.
You money.
Yeah,
it saves you money. It saves stuff from going in there.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't have done that for this system, but for a lot of my systems, I don't need the cutting edge. I don't need.
I bought it because it was close. I didn't have to ship it back for shipping fees.
Yeah.
And they said flat out. Now they only took cash, which is if I had the money, not a credit card. But that's okay. But I got a receipt, 30-day money back. You can't beat it. Now it may die in 31 days, but that's not their fault,
Yeah. If it lasts 10, it'll last a while, most likely.
If I can get 2 years out of this and then move on to 4K, I just needed something because the one I had before was comparable. It was an AMD A6 comparable to an i3. It did 1080p, but God, it took forever, But this one with the RAM and the card, I think I should be in good shape. So, and Dells are apparently stable. So
Dells are very well supported under Linux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CJ's in the house. Welcome. Yeah.
Hello, CJ. Greetings. Anna Rita says her laptops have Realtek Wi-Fi and they work out of the box. I think Realtek either works out of the box or you can't get it to work at all.
Yeah.
There's a few tips and tricks to try and get them to work, but they're very difficult to get working if they're not working.
Yeah. CJ, real quick, I did speak to my dad about our conversation, and we can talk again if you want. He's open to anything right now in terms of our private conversation. Okay.
By the way, it was Time Magazine, by the way, is where it has an extended Godfather edition. I just saw it at the store yesterday, in fact. Too.
Really?
Yeah, go check it out. It's
Okay.
I think it's Time It's Time or Life. I don't know. It's either Time or Life on the grocery stand. Whole thick magazine dedicated to the Godfather movie series.
Wow. Okay.
You should go check
cool.
it out.
Yeah, my dad was in a Godfather way back when. Yeah. As a young lad. Yeah. Anyway.
He's a youngin'.
He showed respect to the family.
Another article I want to point out, if you are new to Linux, one of the things you want to be looking at is probably considering Ubuntu or an Ubuntu-based system. They actually have a big list of certified hardware. And this is huge. So this is at certification.ubuntu.com/desktop. And what you can see here, if you're watching on my screen, Dell actually has 158 certified desktops and 343 certified laptops. Lenovo coming in with 69 and 94, and HP 80 and 82. There's 2 Intel and Acers, and there's a Crambo. I've never heard of Crambo. Have you ever heard of Crambo?
That's the cousin of Rambo. No, I don't know.
Oh, okay, all right. Crambo.
Oh, it's the Rambo. No, I don't know, but... The 9mm Uzi. Tom does a good, show. 9mm
Uzi, and then we move 5-meter spread, no sound for the people.
That's fantastic.
Of course, the line is Uzi 9mm, but it does sound better 9mm Uzi.
9mm.
Terminator 1.
By the way,
you see, fella.
A little spoiler. Me and Stephanie did a news and nonsense. She does a great Arnold, by the way. It's a spoiler. I'm going to call Arnett Schwarzenegger. Haha. But no.
Okay, so here's Dell and Spirins.
Tom, real quick, I need to get off at about 11 p.m. About 14 minutes, just to let everybody know. Okay.
Sounds good.
So, any questions or comments on me or Tom's, please lay it on. So, I'm here. We're here.
And I have a Dell Inspiron. It's one of the. It might be the 734. It's one of the 7 series. Dell Inspiron 7 laptop series. That's what I run on my Linux Mint system.
Okay.
And it runs completely flawlessly.
I love ThinkPads. I got
works.
3 of them. You know what? Linux, trust me. If you're new to this and you're lost, it's still best to get a separate, inexpensive machine to try Linux. ThinkPads, $200 nowadays with 8 gigs of RAM will do any Linux. So, solid machines. Yeah. And by the way, happy Cinco de Mayo. Here's my Heineken. This video is not sponsored by Heineken, but I'm drinking at you. Cheers.
I'll toast with coffee. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Cheers, my friend. Yes. It's fantastic. Ooh. Anyway. So if you missed any of this, when this stops processing, replay it. And we had what I believe to be a top 10 list for building the perfect machine. I think Tom and I were in agreement on 90% of the stuff. So
yeah, it was mostly.
Yeah.
Sure.
CJ says that's one of your beers. Excellent. Yeah, my dad wanted to pick up beer today, and I said, okay, let's go get this. He says, okay, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is, he drank 2 beers and then he wanted to go to bed. Of course, so did I.
That's that's what my brother does. Go to sleep too. Of course, he does harder stuff than that. But apparently Hangouts just doesn't work anymore. Oh boy, I'll be right back. I don't know what Google did to Hangouts, but
I don't know.
because
enough,
it's like as of Thursday when I recorded, we're using the same setup as I record the other things. I did that. I usually do that on Firefox because doing Hangouts on Chromium causes this system to go haywire.
Well, I use, I've had intermittent issues in the past with Chrome. It's never let me down. That's all I use.
Yeah, I'm not
or they're afraid of my caddy trunk. It's one or the other, So yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get me a caddy truck. But Firefox, as of today, they will not allow Google Chrome.
Well, they're destroying all the extensions. I don't know if there's going to be a fix for that soon or what.
That might be the cause. Come to think of it,
I don't know what it is with Firefox. The last year and a half, they've just been wonky. I don't know what's going on.
I think they're an identity crisis because they don't realize that their target audience is the people who don't want Google because of all the spying stuff, and it doesn't help to put all the spying.
I would love to use Firefox full time, but there's just something about it.
I generally don't have problems with it, but I also don't use it a lot either. I prefer to use Waterfox for most things.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's see.
Go ahead. I think I've caught up on my end here with comments. Yeah, CJ, there's no there's a Walmart here. They have a pitiful selection of PCs. Micro Centers in Columbus is like 250 miles. I ain't going there. Best Buy 30 miles from me. I got lucky. There's a computer recycling place 10 miles away. I walked in, that a recycled.
You know what I need to do? I need to go down to the Penn State surplus store sometime and just go down and browse.
You never know. Sometimes it's just a matter of timing. You walk in and something's there.
Personally, do not buy from HP. No respect for company that will not let you talk to a real person. Absolutely. I will not recommend HP, even though HP has better printer support. I think most other printers.
HP and Epson for Linux,
buy.
yes.
Yep, I will not buy HP products.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Hello there, Mary Late Beltine. I'd run not Ubuntu. Manjaro runs on my old Alienware. Yep. Yeah, Firefox is going downhill fast. Yeah, Firefox died.
Firefox is getting fired. Ugh.
Yes, you're fired, Fox.
Fox.
There's the last non-Chrome
CJ, you did the
HTML
lawn today. Very good. I'm going to try and do it tomorrow
Yeah,
if it doesn't rain.
Firefox is the last non-Chrome HTML rendering engine left. That is terrifying.
Okay. Yeah, CJ, you're in LA, so you got all kinds of choices. We are very there is an Office Max here. They got tons of laptops, but very few desktops. So it's kind of annoying anyway. But I got lucky.
Yeah.
I got the Dell and it works. So yeah.
Most of the desktops I see at our local Best Buy are all the micro towers.
Yes. Yeah.
And those, I would not run those for a computer. They're great for a NAS. I mean, pick one up for a NAS, pick one up for a server, pick one up for any purpose other than running a computer.
Well, they made this
in
in they made the Dells in a what's SFS small form factor, a very very tight space for a graphics card. You know what I mean, to do work. Now they were like $40 less, but I thought, nah, I'll just go with the full size. Yeah, you know. So, all right, heads up, another 5 minutes or so, and I need to get off. So.
Yep. Goose Tech says, "Hey guys, been following for a while. Any suggestions for a distro that provides good tools for multiple audio tracks for doing a stream just like this?" You're talking about importing multiple audio tracks and things? I'm doing this on Linux Mint. Now, if you're doing something like multiple audio tracks through a soundboard, that's actually going to be the easiest way because you just have to deal with one input, but you need to either run sound yourself or have somebody else run sound. So the way I'm doing this, I actually have dual inputs. So Toss is coming in on my desktop audio, basically the sound that goes through my speakers, and then my OBS is picking up my Meteor mic. And you can actually set up multiple different audio inputs through the system. You just pick a distro that's going to be stable for you. Pretty much any good stable
You can finagle it a little bit, I think, with the Pulse Audio volume control app. I think.
But with OBS, you'd need to be run multiple from the streaming like we're doing here. We can do you need to do it through OBS, and you need to just set up a series of audio inputs. But if you have multiple audio inputs coming and going in and out of your system, it gets a little goofy. And so what you want to do in that case is, I'd say any more than 3 or 4 audio inputs, you want to run it through a soundboard.
Yeah, just to make it easier. Yeah. Steve Gunnick says picked up an used HP laser for $30. Wow, and the toners for $40. Works great. Nice. Okay. Very good. Laser quality is definitely. I don't print that much, so I buy ink once a year.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have lasers, so I just bought some of the generic brands, which actually work pretty well. But when it comes time to edit a book, I mean, I'll be printing the thing off.
Well, that's a different ball game there. Yeah.
And that's why I get Office laser jets. And stuff. Because lasers are extremely efficient for their ink.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the cartridge that I got, I forget the brand of them. It's the generic cartridges instead of refills. It cost me $25 for 2 of them.
Okay. I actually bought recycled ink on Amazon. Refill it, and you know what? It worked. I saved myself like $12 for the black and white color.
Yep.
It's cheaper than a printer, at least for the printer that I wanted.
Still unable to watch Netflix on Ubuntu Bionic Beaver with an updated Firefox and Chromium. Okay, Lighthouse, did you make sure that DRM is enabled? And also they might require you to turn on third-party cookies. I know with Hulu, you can watch free Hulu at view.yahoo.com, at least until Disney completely co-ops it in a few months. you can only watch if you enable third party.
Yeah.
There is another option, and I have not tested this. I don't have Netflix, but I've heard about it, and I've wanted to test it. I've been looking to see if I know somebody that knows their login. There is, in theory, a new plugin for Kodi that will connect to Netflix. I don't know anything else about it. But honestly, since I don't have Netflix, I'm just speaking theoretically. Chrome, Kenny Widden says install Chrome, which is good. I mean, you can install Chrome and only use it for that purpose. That's, that's fine.
All right, 2-minute warning, guys, and we'll wrap this up. Any last-minute questions, comments on either of our channels? The topic tonight was, what would you consider the perfect PC? Would it be 4K ready, expandable, easily expandable, stable, fast, quiet? That's what we had talked about. So it really, right now, unless you build it, and even then, I'm not sure that the perfect PC right now doesn't exist out of the box. It just, in my opinion, yet. So, you can get close to perfect probably, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a perfect PC never needs updates. It never needs repair.
Well, right. Yeah. That perfect. That's right.
Yeah.
It runs on nuclear power. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, well, I don't know. So, I mean, some people would say running on nuclear power is perfect. Some people would be like,
just don't have an accident. Yeah. That's the catch. Yeah. All it takes is one accident. It's all over. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was another. We were talking about Windows updates this morning. I was talking. I guess Microsoft issued yet another warning about Windows updates, not crashing the system, but making your web browser slower for some reason. I don't understand.
Exciting.
And I mean, like, it never ends. It just never ends. So
yeah, I mean, how about that whole? Oh, you have any drive plugged into the USB ports? Yeah, we want update. Huh?
Yeah. Never a dull moment. Unfortunately, it's for all the wrong reasons. We know with the updates. Yes. So yeah, But I have to give Ubuntu Mate credit. Been stable. Windows 10 for me. At least the updates have not crashed my system. I still don't like the process, but I use Ubuntu 80% of the time now. That's how good it's gotten. So yeah.
Yeah.
4K ready, powerful GPU, supported by open source OS drivers. Okay. That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Peabody just jumped on. My apologies, Peabody. We are just wrapping up.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock our time.
To watch this on either of our channels.
Yeah. If the people watching have any suggestions for future Life in Linux shows, let me or Switch know. We'll put it on our list. I thought this topic for right now was timely. Considering what Microsoft's going through with their updates on their machines. So
Yep. Welcome to Linux.
Hello, Gerson Santos. Welcome. And almost goodbye here in another minute. So, like I said, I'm going to try and jump on early tomorrow morning, like 9 a.m.-ish my time for a quickie chat. For those people in other time zones. So, yeah. Yeah, well, because my dad's in and, I took a week off, so I got the time. So, but I don't want to go a bit too late tonight, yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and go check out Total OS Today's channel if you haven't already as well. And we will catch you guys later.
Have fun, everybody. Take care. We'll catch you on the next show sometime. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. That went smoothly for the most part.